I recently picked up the Titanfall 1, Titanfall 2, and the Apex Legends art books off of Amazon. So I've been kind of going through them just to sort of see how each game's art sort of originated and then where we got whenever the game's actually released. So this sort of sparked a thought in my head was how have the games sort of changed from the first Titanfall to the second one and then also to Apex Legends, and then sort of which one is my favorite. Titanfall 1 first released back in March of 2014. Now, that is a super long time ago, but it still sees some regular play on the Xbox consoles. Titanfall 1 on launch looked stunning. It was gritty, open, dynamic, and the visuals and design was consistent and striking in so many ways. I didn't really get to play the game until much later on. I went the PlayStation 4 route that year to play the new Killzone release, and I deeply regret that considering how terrible that game was. Titanfall 1 really showed what a new FPS game could look like in that generation, and when it was played on the Xbox One, this sort of gritty style gave it a certain flavor and tone about the world surrounding the game. Now, before I get started, which Titanfall's art style do you prefer? Or maybe you prefer Apex Legends, but probably not. Please let me know down in the comment section below. Now, after playing Titanfall 1, Titanfall 2, and Apex Legends, I actually realized that I much prefer Titanfall 1's art style and aesthetic to Titanfall 2's. Titanfall 1 and 2 are both set in the same general time period, same war, same region of space, but both games look vastly different. This happens quite often as games get sequels, engines can improve, and art can be taken in a new direction. Lighting technology evolves from game to game. A good example of this is the Gears of War franchise. You know, the first game was super gritty, super dark, almost too gritty and dark. Then each iteration became more colorful and saturated. Looking back, I still prefer that Gears of War 1 gritty style to the more, colorful sequels. Titanfall 2 seemed to have followed this route as well. Directly comparing it to Titanfall 1, it seems to convey a different tone through its visuals. Titanfall 2 isn't as grim or dark looking. It has much more light, much more color to the environment. Now, adding color isn't always a bad thing per se. It can make firefights a bit more digestible because you can actually make out what you're shooting. However, Titanfall 2 seems to make everything brighter than its predecessor. Now, I think the addition of light and color sort of disjoints the severity of the conflict that the Titanfall games are attempting to portray. It's supposed to be this desperate revolution against an evil mega corporation who are often, killing civilians and military personnel alike to achieve their goals. Also, newsflash, the militia killed civilians too, so even the good guys in Titanfall aren't always good. And I think having that grittier style in Titanfall 1 sort of showed how important every fight was and showed the depth of the conflict that you were supposed to be fighting in. Also, the overall design of the pilots and Titans in both games changed a lot. Titanfall 1, the pilot designs were, in my opinion, a bit more consistent with real-life military personnel. It looked like something you might actually see in the field of a futuristic military outfit. Obviously, they're wearing space helmets, but some of the options still look somewhat mil-sim in their designs. Titanfall 2's pilots got a little bit further away from that. The Titans in Titanfall 1 also seemed a bit more mil-sim and practical as well, like they might actually exist. Titanfall 2's designs definitely went the way they did to give the Titans more overall personality since they weren't really customizable like the first game. Apex Legends has taken the colorfulness of Titanfall 2 to an entirely new level. Now, Apex isn't as serious of a game as the Titanfall games, and it has colorful character skins and bright maps and color-filled spaces. It's very, very different, not necessarily a bad thing. The characters are also a bit more cartoony in their design as well. Now, obviously, these are all visual design choices and quite frankly don't really have a whole lot of an impact on gameplay. To be fair, I much prefer Titanfall 2's gameplay loop to Titanfall 1's, and even Apex Legends gunplay seems a bit better than both of the Titanfalls, so it's entirely my own subjective preference as to the art style of each game. My ideal mix would probably be Titanfall 2's movement and time to kill, the Apex Legends gunplay, and then the art style and aesthetics of Titanfall 1. Maybe if we get a third entry, we'll get that, who knows. I think it'd be pretty cool. Art design and aesthetics in a game can really change the tone behind it, and it's always kind of fun to see how the art sort of changes from sequel to sequel. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoy the content and want more of it, then please consider leaving a like and licking the sub button. I've got a community Discord as well, so please feel free to come join us over there. Alright everyone, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.